The problem is some of you might be like, I'm overwhelmed because I don't even have goals. I don't even know what my goals are. I haven't even written down these goals. The title that I put of this live was Without Vision, People Perish. And it's so true. Because when you're in a toxic relationship, you start to lose the vision of who you actually could be. You start to lose the vision of what's actually possible. You start to lose a vision of what's actually real. And you get to the place where you think, I can't actually grow that way. I can't actually get to that place. I can't actually move forward. This is the whole aspect of actually building these goals and understanding that the version of you out there actually exists. But you have to believe it first. You have to be able to see a vision of where you currently are to where you want to go. And that's what we try to set up for you. How you actually move from point A to point B consistently. Huge part. So, I just finished doing a 4-hour event and going through having to set up goals for our entire Thriver community of where they're going to be going just in this next month, of moving them toward their impossible games, of where they're actually moving in a year. Like they've scripted out these like really clear, precise goals of this is what they want in a year. And we're moving them forward every single month. It's amazing to see the progress. The progress is super fast when they put in the effort. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Is it better to have a monthly than yearly or yearly and then have smaller goals? So we focus on having a yearly big goals of this is where we want to go. And then we focus on monthly, which then correlates to your weekly, which then correlates to your day. So we break it down in really small chunks. That's why it's a 4-hour event. Inside of what I do inside of like Warrior, it's like a 2-day event or sometimes a 3-day event of what we do, of how granular we get. But we go in and script out, okay, that's where we need to go in the year. Now, what do we need to move this month? Like, what do we need to move in body, being, balance, and business? What do we need to move this month to start us down that path, to move us in that direction? So that's a really good question. I think it's better to have a yearly goal and then have the monthly of like, okay, this is where I move now, because it lets you pivot faster than it does of having like these quarterly goals or things like that. But then the monthly goal breaks down even smaller of like, okay, I've got 4 things in business I need to do this month, 1 a week. Like it breaks down really smaller. We keep breaking down smaller and smaller and smaller. That way it makes sense. So when people show up on a day-to-day basis, they're like, okay, today I have 4 things I need to do. And you're like, but what about all this stuff? How am I going to get there? You have 4 things to do. Execute today with excellence. Then tomorrow, 4 things to do. Execute the day with excellence. Then tomorrow, 4 things to do. Like it's just step by step. We break it down really small, really granular. Like what do you have to do now? What do you have to do moving forward? Okay. These positive channels are really helping save lives. People don't understand the darkness you're in with them and don't even know what you're dealing with. Yeah, 100%. So I've sometimes hard to keep 3 autistic kids home full time, so it's hard to keep some of my goals, but I try every day to reach my goals. Yeah, no, absolutely. List them out and break them up into bite-sized chunks. The thing is, a lot of times people have all these goals versus like goals that are actually all in the same direction. Like when you start to build a goal of like, this is what I want, and then you start to build it out every single month, every single week, that it's just a step. Too many people bite off too big of chunks. Like they're like, I have this big goal. It's way too big. Like they need to bring it down in like smaller chunks. That's why we focus on the year, and then we the focus on the year of like what we want. Then we focus on the month, breaking the month down piece by piece by piece. When you finally get out, then the work starts 100%. Like then you're able to actually have the capacity to start working on yourself, to be able to start like growing, developing like who you actually are. Otherwise, you're just lost in the fog 24/7. Like that's all you even know at that point. Let's see. Should you include your goals in your journal that I have of yours, or should it be written down somewhere separate? I hope you can do it wherever you want. The main thing is like, how are you going to track it on a consistent basis? That's the main thing. Is like you're setting up, this is where the goals that I have for like, this is where I want to be for the year. This is the goals I have for like the month. Now, how are you going to track it? We have software that we use to be able to track it so people get really granular of what they need to do each day, and we script it out. So like at the end of our event that we just had, the 4-hour event, we go through scripting everything out in all 4 areas of life, and then we start scripting out, okay, if we defined these are the things we need to move this month, how are we actually going to execute them? Where are we going to put them like in the month? What week are they going to lie on? What week are we actually going to work on it? What day are we going to work on it? Like those things, so that when you walk into like the next couple weeks of what you're doing, it's already in your calendar. Like that's the biggest thing, is when they're in your calendar, it's hard. Like you have to learn how to run with a calendar. If you don't run with a calendar, then it's hard to do anything. But like when you're in your calendar, like it makes it so much easier, because then you're not stressing long term. You're just like, okay, what do I need to do today? Okay, this is what I do today. This is what I need to do tomorrow. Like that kind of stuff. What's up, Brittany? It's good to see you. Thank you for your videos. You've helped me in my journey recovering from narcissism. Awesome. Glad to be able to hear that. It's a journey, that's for sure. Like, we try to help people, like, it's through a journey. You're not getting to a destination, because that destination is a growth mindset. It continues moving forward. There's not really like a healed, now I have to work, now I have to move forward. No, it's just like a constant, like, continuous development moving you forward. That's why we're talking about goals. Like, the vision of like who you actually want to become. Do you know what that is? And then are you actually making steps towards it? Doesn't have to be leaps, doesn't have to be these giant moments, but it's like, are you making a step? Are you starting to move in the right direction? But yeah, no, it's good. What are the questions you guys have? We can talk about anything, but want to be on here for a couple minutes just to be able to help with answer some questions, kind of talk through some stuff. We just got off of our like 4-hour event, like scripting out stuff for people for the month, like month to month. We kind of meet mid-month because of where we're going and everything. But getting really clear on your goals is like needed. A lot of times if you're not clear on your goals, then you don't even have the right self-talk to even imagine to achieve them. Like, they're not even going to be there. Like, the more you're able to actually script it out and say like, hey, this is where I'm going, this is how I'm going to move there, that's what actually helps. But like we were talking about, most people don't have goals. Most people don't write down goals. Most people don't communicate goals. And most people don't actually track goals. So as a result, it's no wonder that the majority of people's goals don't even get handled. Okay? It's been hard for me to accept who he is and that he doesn't care. Any advice for that? So, Amanda, there's a part of it that's radical acceptance, which is just saying, hey, what are the facts about this? He showed up this way, okay? Think of it this way. Think of it the opposite way. What are the facts that he does care? Like, how has he actually demonstrated love, care, respect, honor, faithfulness? Like, you list them all off. Like, what are the actual facts? And you look at it and you're like, wait a second, all these facts don't actually match up, so it actually proves that he doesn't care. See what I mean? Kind of walk through it that way. What should I do with the father of my sons, 21 and 19? I live alone since separation for 4 years. With them being 19 and 21, I wouldn't do anything. I would block, ghost, go no contact. You can have contact with your sons. You don't need to have contact with him. There's no legal reason why you'd have to. My wife's a narcissistic alcoholic. Okay? Until she gets the alcoholic piece fixed, like, there is no working on the narcissism. I used to be so goal-oriented. Since leaving my narcissist, I'm just surviving and can't even identify a goal. Monica, totally get that. Would love to have you work with us if you wanted to. You could look at it and you could see, like, hey, first let's get you out of the trauma bond. Let's work through whatever piece you're dealing with, the healing aspect. And at the same time, we'll start to coach you on, like, those goals. Like I said, we have an event that we do every single month that helps hone you in, because that's all we focus on. So where you are, where you're going, how we're going to get there, piece in. I'm only a week into our separation after 25 years. I have so many emotions. I know I too have toxic behavior in response to his. I lost me. I don't know where to even begin to start. Crystal, would love to be able to help work with you, to help you move forward. One of the things I would suggest is, if you haven't even seen our 7-day challenge, you can go to escapetoxicity.com. It's a great place to be able to start off, especially when you're so recently out of it, to start getting understanding, to start getting an idea of, like, this is what's going on. And then you graduate from that into our 45-day challenge, graduate into Thriver, continue moving forward in your healing and your growth. Love to be able to help you with that. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions too.